Okay, this is 10.5, part 2. To solve an natural exponential equation, that means you have e to the x. You have base e. So first you isolate base e, and only after it's isolated you ln both sides. Ln both sides is the similar to logging both sides, log both sides. So we've done questions before. This is what we did actually on Friday or Thursday. If you have 2 to the x equals 5, to solve for the exponent, you would log both sides, bring the exponent down, log both sides. So we're going to do the same idea here. Instead of log, log both sides, we're going to ln both sides. So for instance, we have a natural base e. You want to isolate it, so you'll subtract 1 from both sides. So you have 3e to the x equals 4. Divide by 3. So e to the x equals 4/3. And now you log both sides, but you don't log log, you ln both sides, a natural log. So you have x ln e equals ln 4/3. And this part right here, ln e, oh that's a bad highlighting color. This part right here, ln e, that equals 1 because they're inverses. So you basically have x equals ln 4/3. This is approximately 2877. On the next one, you want to isolate e. So you would subtract 11, which is -9. You divide by -3, which is +3. And at this point, you would log both sides, but you really want to ln. So you bring the exponent out in front, ln e, ln 3. ln e cancels, you have 4x equals ln 3. X equals ln 3 over 4. And be careful when you type this into your calculator, because you need a parenthesis. You would have ln 3 parenthesis, that's the numerator, and then divide by 4. So you get 2747. 2747. And pause this video, see if you get the next answer. So be careful when you type it in your calculator. The number answer would be ln 25, parenthesis, and then divided by 5. So that would be 6437. Okay, last part of the notes, to solve a natural log equation. So now they're going to have ln's. If there's more than one logarithm, you have to condense the logarithms. When I say condense the logarithms, it means use properties of exponents. So properties of logarithms. Properties of logarithms still hold to be true even if it's ln. So ln x plus ln y, you should know that log property. That would be ln of xy. And all those properties, difference becomes a quotient, and a coefficient becomes an exponent. You should know each of those in this section. So you condense them first, then you isolate ln, and then you e both sides. And lastly, you have to be careful about extraneous solutions, since you can't take a log of a negative number. So number 48, it's already, you don't have to condense anything. There's only one ln, one log. And you don't have to isolate the ln. There's no number out in front. So you e both sides, like so. And the reason you do that is because the e and the ln cancel, and then you have x plus 1 equals e to the first, which would be x equals e to the first minus 1. And when you type that into your calculator, you would get 1.7183 is what your x equals. On number 50, notice you have 2 logs. You have one right here, one right here. So you have to condense those 2 logs with the property of logarithms. So if you have a sum of 2 logs, you can make it 1 log of a product, x times 3x's, 3x squared equals 12. And then you, as the directions say, number 3, then you e both sides. So you have e to the ln 3x squared equals e to the 12. So e is your base, and the rest are exponents. And the e and the ln divide out. You have 3x squared equals e to the 12. Divide by 3. And then take a square root of both sides. So plus or minus e to the 12 over 3. And then you use your calculator. So see if you can use your calculator to get that answer. The answer you should get is 232.91.97. And that's plus or minus, but you can't take ln of a negative number right here. So the only answer would be 232.91.97. Just the positive one, not the negative one. So pause this video and see if you could do the next question. For the next one, we would subtract 4 from both sides and divide by 3 to isolate the ln. So subtract 4 is 21, then divide by 3. And then you would e both sides. You have e to the ln, 3x minus 1, equals e to the 7. And again, the e and the ln cancel. So you'd have 3x minus 1 equals e to the 7. And you have add 1 and divide by 3. And be careful when you type that into your calculator. You would have e to the 7th plus 1 divided by 3, which is 365, 87, 77. And the last two, notice that you have a log, 2 logs on the right, so you have to condense the 2 logs. So you have ln x squared plus 12 equals a sum of 2 logs becomes a product, ln 8 times x. And since there's an ln on both sides, you would have x squared plus 12 equals 8x. You could subtract 8 and set the equation equal to 0, and then you could factor. And factoring this, it would be x minus 6, x minus 2. So x is 6, x is 2. Neither one of these are extraneous because if you plug 2 or 6 into x, you would not get ln of a negative number. So you have those 2 solutions. And the last one, we have multiple ln's. So we have to condense ln's on this side. We have a sum. So it would be ln of a product, 12 times x, equals ln, notice this one's a difference, so it would be ln of a quotient, x plus 2 over 4. And since we have an ln on both sides, we can raise it to the e, which would get rid of both ln's, so you have 12x equals x plus 2 over 4. And to solve for x, you want to get rid of the fraction, so you multiply both sides by 4. So you have 48. 12 times 4 is 48. X plus 2. Subtract x. And then divide by 47. So that would be your answer, 2/47. The only one I didn't give an answer for with a calculator is this one up here. So that would be e to the 4th plus 2. So this one was 56, 59, 81.